Hmm. Okay, so I have the buffer turned up today, so there's going to be a bit of a delay. Um, so, okay. So whatever the glitch was, it seems to be corrected. So we're going to get started on this video. So my apologies for for the interruption on the stream. That shouldn't have happened, but it did. So let's do this. So yes, I'm Clyde with PT3D, and today we are going to be working on the CR-10S. So we're going to go over there with our pre-cut piece of filament that we have here, and this was courtesy of Wile from Wile's 3D for kind of establishing the overall fix. So we're going to move the camera over here. Let's see if we can't get that nice and square so you can see it. All right, so I may end up having to try to get you a little bit closer so you can see this better. But I have to do some housekeeping first, so give me a second. There we go. All right. Let's see. Is that close enough? I think it is. I just need some tools so we can do this and get going. What I could do also is turn on this other camera and give you guys a little bit of more of a bird's eye view maybe. Or we'll see how we can clip this. So maybe we can make this a little bit closer to you. So give me 1 second while I turn on my video. So we want the 720 camera, which it's saying, there's nothing there. Wow, I don't know what's going on with this thing. I've got like stuff turned on all over the place. I'm totally unprepared today. I'm terribly sorry for that. Let's disable the stream there. And let's see if we can't pull it back up. All right, so it looks okay so far. Could not connect the camera. Why can you not connect the camera? The camera is right here. All right, let's try it this time. The crap cam one is giving me issues. Why are you giving me issues, crap cam one? All right, let's unplug you, plug you back in. This is very unfortunate. All right, which window is this? There it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to bring this over, and we're gonna see if we can't get that display to come up. So my apologies while I have technical difficulties this morning, because apparently that seems to be a thing. Well, anyway, piece number one and piece number two, and this is completely unrelated, so we'll put that over here. We will talk about this and this, so you can see this as well. Let's see if we can get this display to come back up. Stop. Why are you, there we go. This thing is just acting so strangely today. Could not connect to this device. All right, so we're gonna have to reboot this computer because it is acting strangely. So we'll do that real quick. Then we'll get to talking about this. All right, so we need beverage and we need tools. So let's get tools. Now, all right, tools. A box of wrenches. All right, so the idea of this modification is for the purposes of being able to print more stable. There's a couple of different problems I'm having with the CR-10S right now, is that the thing right here, this coupler, is not staying flat. Okay, so it's not keeping the tube inside the hot end like it's supposed to during retractions. So what's happening is it's pushing this tube up just a little bit, and the filament's getting caught right around this little edge here where the hot end meets. And what that's doing is it's causing it restricts the orifice, like gradually over time, to the point where filament can't go through the hole anymore. So how is this going to fix the problem? Well, I'm gonna show you. If you can't push a tube through this, it's not gonna go through, right? So it's not going to move. So it's gonna stay right where I set it, right? So that's the plan. We're gonna see how well that works, and if it stays centered or not, because this could be an additional issue, but we will see. Ideally, it's going to stay centered, and we won't have to worry about it. So, otherwise, we'll have a different problem entirely. Because this doesn't have like a bell, it doesn't have like a taper, kind of where it goes in and gradually. So you can kind of guide something to the center. This stuff is a center hole, but it's flat. So we may have to reconsider this at some point, but we're going to try and work with what we got first and see if we can make it work. Because it's going to be, it does have a tube in here that's going to make it want to stay straight up, so we're going to work with it. So it should be okay. So first, I'm going to get in here with the wrong wrench, because this is not a wrench that you should really want to use on something like this. You kind of want to use like an actual box end crescent for this, but I don't have the right size, so I'm going to just kind of use this. Alright, so once we get this out, I'll show you what I was talking about. There we go. Alright, so on this fitting here, when you put it in, it's going to go into the hot end. So it has to go all the way through. Wow, this thing, there we go. So it has to go through like this. So it can actually sit in your hot end, right? Well, if it can move even a little bit, it's going to cause a gap where the filament can actually sit. And that is not acceptable. So that's what we're working on fixing right now. Is this finally going to work? Oh, it is! Excellent. All right. Yeah. Quit it. All right, let's see if we've got the stream going real quick on my camera, and then we will get going. It's not looking like it. Why are you acting up funny? Cancel. Why are you already in use? Man, I'm having a rough morning. This stuff does not want to work today. know, this is what you guys wanted to see today, right? It was me trying to mess with this stinking thing to get it working. It's all right. We're going to get it working. Just wait. Well, we're going to try to get it working. If we can't get it working now, then... I don't know why it's doing this. It just rebooted the computer. I can't think of anything else that would be doing this. Alright, so we're just going to go single camera today, so let's just get rid of that. My apologies. I really honestly wish that I could use it, but I will try to get as close as I can with the camera. It just makes it difficult to, to work when you have a camera in your way. So what we'll do is we'll kind of keep that camera right here, and hopefully you can see well enough. All right, so what we need to do first is we need to get the other hot end off, or the nozzle, I should say. So let's try to get my screw gun out of here. We'll get rid of this camera since it doesn't work today, or doesn't want to work today. We're going to power this up for just a second, and I need to bring this up We're going to bring this up just high enough because I need to be able to get my wrench in there. I mean, if I can't get my wrench in there, what's the point, right? Yeah, that should be sufficient. So once that's done moving, or we'll just turn it off now. All right. So now we're just gonna kind of slide that on there. And we're gonna pull this off. I had just replaced the nozzle the other day, so this is a clean nozzle, which I don't know if you can tell from the camera angle, but this is a clean nozzle. So there's nothing in there to keep me from reusing it. So the first step, of course, is going to be threading this in place, because we need to be able to feed this from the bottom. And again, I got to give credit to Mr. Wile 3D for the great brainstorming session we had on this the other day, because that really did help a lot. So we're gonna tighten this down. We may have to make an adjustment too as well, because the threads aren't as low on this as they are with, I don't know what I did with it, with the other fitting. Oh, it's right here, duh. I forgot, I left it on the tubing. So we gotta take that off anyway, so. So it's not sitting quite as low as, well, actually, it probably will be just fine. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna bring my chair over here so I can see. And I'm gonna tilt the camera up so you can actually see what the heck I just did. Holy crap. All right, so you can see up here, this is the fitting, the blue one that I just installed. I just tightened it up. So, I mean, you're not missing anything on that side. You wanna see this side anyway. So now that I'm sure my camera is lined up properly so you can see, we're going to take this piece of Capricorn tubing. This is the TL series Capricorn tubing with an ID of about 2.0. The idea is that it will allow you to have sufficient room to operate with. I don't know if that's too far in or not. It might be, but we're going to try it and see. Because we don't, now this is the part you're going to be careful of. If it doesn't snug up to the tubing, this isn't going to work, which means we're going to have to go a little bit longer. So we're going to check it and see if we actually get it snug to the tubing or if we're just getting snug to the housing. Yeah, see, we're getting snug to the housing. So what I can try is adjusting this pneumatic fitting just a little bit more to kind of compensate for that. Ooh, that feels good. Okay, I think we do have it actually. So what I'm going to do is look down the barrel. I need a flashlight, so I'm going to grab that. It's really good to sight this real fast. Make sure that it's lined up, because if it's not lined up, well, we'll have additional problems. Okay, so it is lined up, and it looks like it's good and snug. I may have a little bit of an alignment issue, but it's not major. So what I could probably do is grab a small drill bit to just kind of coerce it into position the rest of the way. Like I said, it's actually probably in good enough position, but I want to be double sure. So I do have a small Allen wrench, and I'm going to just kind of put it in here and just kind of roll it around just like this and try and get that centered up. All right, that looks nice and centered now. All right, so we're gonna move on. Now the tool that Wile 3D had sent me, this is an STL file. I believe he got this off of Thingiverse. Not actually sure what that says, but if you can see that, it does have some, text on there. You put the tubing through this hole, and you bump it up against the back side here. It's probably a good idea to make sure that the end of your tubing is flush first, and then you cut right here in this groove. So take your knife, make sure it's sharp, and you just cut through the tubing. This channel right here that's in here is not going to allow you to cut this completely flush. So when you pull the tubing out, you are going to have to finish it off the rest of the way. So just be careful when you do that so you don't get all crooked and cockeyed. All right. Let me... Now this is a gamble. I can go big or go home is what they say, right? So what I can do, potentially, is grab... Holy cow. I am terribly sorry. My chat was not updating. All right, so good morning, Ed and Mr. Buttram and Rodney and Matt. Good morning. Like I said, I apologize. The chat was not refreshing. I did not realize that. I should have guessed that with you guys in the chat that it was kind of quiet. Not that I'm saying you guys are loud or anything, but all right. So now that I have this, you can't probably see it too awful much. So we'll try to tilt you back just a bit. I'm going to push this right in. So now this is now shorter. So you can see my little setup here is not as streamlined as it was, because now I have like that whole like 2.5 or so inches of tubing left. So, but this fitting is in place, this fitting is in place, bed's ready. So what we're going to do now is we're going to preheat this, the whole thing, everything, nozzle, bed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of the PETG. Let's see what color we got. We have some yellow PETG that we are going to try using. I have been wanting to use this for, I can't even tell you how long. I have tried to print with this and it didn't work so well. But we are going to, we're going to ramp this up to what I consider operating temperature in just a second. We need a model. So anybody have any advice on a model? I could do a test print, maybe a cube. Why don't we try that? So I have to consult my computer here and see what models we have. See if we have something small. What I really want to do is actually use the filament like this Hatchbox PETG because it is that much more sturdy, you know, than the PLA. And we have, well, I have some projects coming up that I would really like to have some really nice structure for. So we are going to import something. There's so many things we could do right now, but we're just looking for something fast. Something fast. Well, you know what? We have yellow. So why don't we do... Nope, that's the wrong one. We don't want that one. All right, we're going to go with the default. We're going to go with a maker coin. And we got to change this over to the CR-10 profile. Well, CR-10S, but yeah, we can do that's fine for infill. We're going to go with a normal print speed, kind of what I call the medium print speed. We're going to go up to 50%, well, 59% infill. And we got to change the temperature of the bed. Well, that bed is 60. I'm going to leave it at that. And we're going to change the first layer to 250 degrees C. And then we'll try 240 for the actual, or 240 or 245? Let's try 245 first, so we're not going crazy on the, so 245 and, you know, here, we'll do 255 and 250. And we'll see how much stringing we get. My concern is that if I go crazy with the, getting too far off the temperature, that I'm going to have issues, and I really don't want to have issues today. And I'm getting back into the chat in just 1 second, so my apologies. All right, this looks good. I just need the card. Oh wow, it's been so long since I've actually used this thing that I didn't have my reader in place. All right, so we're going to plug our reader in. And I'm definitely not ignoring you guys. I'm just trying to finish this up. If you're like me, I am absolutely curious about whether or not this is going to work or not. All right, prepare to print. Like I said, I'm leaving the bed at 60 degrees C. I don't see why that would be an issue. We're going to call this PETG, and this is on the CR-10. So the Creality 10S. Oops, and it didn't save it to the correct spot. All right. Well, it looks like Ricky's going live. So we're going to try and get this printer going real quick before that happens. That way we can all hang out with him too. All right, let me get back to the chat so I can see you guys. Or not. There we go. Now I can see. All right. So, disaster or not disaster, put your votes in now. That way we can see. Okay, so is this going to work or is this not going to work? That is the question. So first off, we got to move you. I know, I'm mean. I can't help it. But I have to have room to operate, so let's work on that. All right, that should be good enough view for you. We're going to go to the screen and we are going to get this thing ready to go. So we're going to heat this up to 260 because that is the maximum temperature that we'll go to 255 or 256 sounds good. Yeah, we could preheat the bed too while we're at it to 60. Excellent, excellent. All right. So this thing is heating up. So we're gonna now take this very ancient, very old PETG that it did get dried a month or so ago. I have not dried it since, so this is probably dumb of me to do, but we will see how this actually functions. But I just really don't want to sit here all day waiting for my filament to dry. I'd rather see if I can actually use it or not. But it's definitely not brittle, but I don't know much about the PETG because I haven't had much chance to work with it. So like with PLA, it tends to get rather brittle when it's wet. But with, there we go. Man, that was just a giant pain trying to get that in there. All right, so the hot end is at 180. So we're gonna just kind of slowly, we may have an issue. Yeah, it's not feeling like it wants to go in there. All right, so let's nip this a little bit on the corner. Might be that it's just slightly out of alignment. So what we're gonna try is I'm watching this as it goes in, and It did stop. I think. I honestly can't tell if it's in there or not. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, we got flow. All right, we have flow. Look, flow. Whew, thank God. All right, so we're going to print from SD. So refresh that, and we're going to print this model. So wish us luck. Say good luck. I'm going to get out of the way. I don't know what the odds are that this build plate is actually level at this point. So your guess is as good as mine at this point as to whether or not it's where it's supposed to be. But I figure go big or go home. All right, so we are at operating temperature, but we are still waiting for the bed to get up to 60. See, it's a good thing I started preheating it while we were working on it, huh? Tell you what, though, if this works, that might be an update that I will do to the Chiron as well, because the Chiron could definitely benefit from being able to print higher temperatures, especially the size that it prints. It's been printing so well, except for my little snafu with the Lego head the other day. I wanted to be cheap, so I did some custom supports in Simplify 3D. And I have done custom supports before, once. I messed up. So my supports did not print properly, which means that I had a whole lot of spaghetti inside for the infill. So come on, my friend, let's do this so I can head on over to Mr. Ricky's channel. I really just wanted to see if this would work or not. And because I'm doing it, I wanted to make sure that you were here with me. Maybe you'll glean something helpful out of it. Here we go, CR-10S. First print with new hot end. Well, new stuff. Well, this sure is taking a little while. I gotta set up a time lapse as well because I have to get going on the new project, which if you haven't heard about is on my Twitter page, so you should go see that. There is a link on the front page of my YouTube channel that you can click on to go to that if you want to find out more. I'm going to be doing a wall. All right, we didn't slam into the bed, so that's good. We've got, let's see if we can coax that out. Might be a little close. It's always hard to tell when it first starts going. Well, it passes the breath test, so that's good. Layer looks a little skinny. It's not adhering quite right, so we're gonna bring it up just a tiny bit. Yeah, it's a little better. I'm not experienced in the ways of PETG, so This may be a little bit of a learning process for me, but that's okay. Let's see if it sticks, because if it sticks, then we're gonna let it go. I'll post pictures on my Twitter page. Looks like we got a couple of little not quite sticking down, but that could just be that the Magigoo surface is worn. As I have not treated the Magigoo surface, I just kind of went with, well, let's just print it. So it's pretty close to just glass at this point. But what we'll do is we'll try to nip this one here. No, can't really. We'll let it go. Let's just see what happens. Not so very thick. Well, let's see what it does with the infill. Hello, Info Mario. Welcome. All the way from Spain. Let us see how this goes. This is expected failed print, just so you know. I just wanted to see if we had a good, if the PETG was able to keep up or not. So this is actually just a test print. It was just the first test print I had opted to go with. Because why not? You got a maker coin, may as well print one, right? So it looks like it's still extruding. I'm most likely going to have to dial in these retractions. So the test print, I can show you actually. The test print is actually my maker coin. So that's what it looks like, except that I'm doing it in Hatchbox yellow. Typically, I use my my Jenny printer to do most of my. What is this? Maker coins. Sorry, that was what I was gonna say. I just got distracted. Squirrel. Which happens regularly for me. You know, I mean, with the exception of a couple of minor adhesion issues on the bed, this is actually going down pretty well. Considering I haven't fixed my build plate, because I really do need to put some more Magigoo on it, since this printer has sat idle for a while. But yeah, if I can get this to do PETG reliably, this is going to open up a whole new world for the CR-10S. And And sorry if the camera is a little out of focus. Even though I have it set to manual, it still has its moments. So they're a little bit stringy, but we're still on the first layer, and I'm running this at 5 degrees C under its maximum listed temperature on the spool. I wanted to make sure that I ran this hot just so I could guarantee that first layer goes down. And it will be coming down in temperature after this. But that looks like a really nice infill from what I can see from here. But again, it's really, really hard to tell, and I am absolutely not an expert in anything PETG. This is my first attempt, really, other than ages ago, like probably more than a year ago, I did my first PETG print, and I was concerned about the temperature, and yeah, it was on the Instone, and I destroyed the build plate. Because I was not aware that PETG and borosilicate glass did not get along well. Or, well, more apt, I guess they get along way too well. So, that was my fault. Yeah, not the cleanest looking first layer I've ever seen. The infill looks pretty good. The perimeter, not so great. It looks like it didn't quite, there's some spots where it didn't attach correctly. It could also be that I'm just running this thing way too fast. So what I can do is go to tune on here and reduce that speed down to about 68%. And we'll see if I get a good adhesion. Because yeah, the first layer is definitely not epic goodness, but it's definitely not total crap either, so... It's not bad. Try the Devil PETG. I don't even know that I've ever heard of that one. I can look it up. Well, so far, it is not a failed print. Definitely has some tuning issues I think I need to address. That could be bed height, it could be, well, any number of things really. Looks like the layer is just not that thick, so maybe I need to boost the extrusion just a little bit. But I mean, it is It is going down. It's just not. It's not sticking to itself at the moment. So, but again, like I said, the layers are kind of skinny on the first one, so I'm gonna see what happens on the second one. But I think for sure I'm going to have to reduce the speed settings in. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at that. I have to definitely turn this down. I think that's part of my problem, is that the speed is just way too high. I can go into my slicer settings real quick, and we can take a look at that. We'll go to PETG settings. Think I'm probably going to have to shut this off here in a second, because I'm really wondering if it's going to handle this kind of speed. I mean, if it does, I'll just be completely tickled, but I only got half of my settings correct on Fusion 360, so alright, well, I think that pretty much does it for today. I don't want to keep this stream going too long. This is, like I said, I will post a picture of this print when it's completed. It should be done in about an hour, so look on Twitter and see if you can find it. Yeah, so anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Please consider going over and visiting Tanner 3D while he does his live stream. Also look for Wile 3D. And a new one to the family is take a look at Pusa Studios when you get a chance. Alright, I'm Clyde with PT3D. I'm going to leave you with this last look at the build plate. And you have a wonderful day.